Hallo, herzlich willkommen zur 21. Folge von Suzerain zusammen mit Apfel.
Hallo.
Heute haben wir ein Dinner in Laschaven. We were in Laschaven to work with the Business Council to assess weaknesses in the economy. Simon organized a diner with the affluent economic figureheads of Saltland. When we arrived, the streets were bustling with activity, even though the atmosphere in the country was tense. The Shaveners didn't seem very worried. Together with Walter Tusk, Edith Eggnog, Michael Avon, and Simon Hall, we entered the renowned exterior restaurant by the coast. A short blond man, Woe's embroidered, pocket-reed manager, greeted us and waved his hands in excitement as he told us how pleased he was to have us in his establishment. Mein Gott. Being with pride, he led us to a private room and got us seated at a table, covered for the occasion with a maroon tablecloth. We were quickly served by a group of servers. Walter spoke as they started taking our orders. Was wollte du oder was wollte ich? Muss ich jetzt die Liste rausholen?
Ja.
Du warst Walter.
Ah. I recommend the shaven salmon of this place, President. I know that you're from Lashaven, but I bet you haven't tasted anything like this before.
I appreciate the advice, but I don't like salmon. Don't get me wrong, Mr. Tusk, but of course I've tasted this greatness many times here already. Ja komm, holen wir uns einen Lachs. Einen guten Salmon.
Ja.
I ordered a shaven salmon for the main course. The servers took the notes and asked about the second dish. Reis.
Reis, guter alter Reis.
I ordered rice. The servers placed glasses in front of each of us and served bread and water after they were done taking the orders. They quickly left us alone in the private room. Jetzt haben wir zwei neue Charaktere.
Ja.
Edith und Michael.
Er spricht wen?
Soll ich beide sprechen, weil du Simon hast und Tusk?
True. Mein ganzer Tisch ist nass. What the fuck? Was geht jetzt? Oh. Au.
Mr. President, I didn't have the possibility to thank you for coming today. Mein Gott. Your presence means a great deal. Indeed, sir. It's an honor to dine with you. It's great to be here with the members of the Business Council. We should thank Simon for organizing this meeting.
No need for that. I hope everybody enjoys the evening.
Simon gestured at the expensive-looking red wine bottle that one of the servers had just brought to the table.
Mr. President?
That looks amazing.
Well, it tastes even better. Best of Lesbia. The Chateau de Falenco 1934.
Simon poured some wine in my glass and waited for me to taste it before filling it up. I took a sip. The taste of the wine was immediately stimulating and delightful to my palate. It immediately reminded me of our visits to my father's vineyard when I was a kid. The wine's sweet and bitter flavors exploded in my mouth. The aroma of gooseberries and lilacs tumbled across my tongue, and my mouth tingled with them long after I'd swallowed.
How is it? Is the taste to your liking?
It tastes like heaven. Reminds me of my father's vineyard. Fine balance and a nice touch of gooseberries. I like it. It's fine. It tastes like any other wine. Ja, 1. Tastes like heaven.
Yeah. I've heard that he was a big wine connoisseur. May he rest in peace.
Honestly, I was never close to him. I can't recall too much apart from his lavish parties. Thank you. I guess this is thank you, weird.
Yeah.
Simon filled up my glass. After filling everybody's glasses, Simon stood up and raised his glass.
I'd like to raise a toast to all of you here today. We are meeting here tonight in difficult times, but I believe that with hard work, cooperation, and trust, we will get through this period as well. I'd like to thank Mr. Rainey again for his decisiveness when it comes to economic policies. I'm sure we will stop this recession. I also thank Mr. Tusk for being here with us today. His presence is an honor. And of course, my colleagues from the Business Council, Ms. Agnock and Mr. Avon. With you, none of these would have been possible.
Without you.
Let's drink to future cooperation and growth. For prosperous Swordland.
Everybody raised their glasses and toasted each other. After a couple more minutes, the servers arrived with our meals. When I tasted the food, I went back to my past. It reminded me of my childhood in this city. Even though I couldn't recall much about my father, I remembered that he also loved the food of Asteria. So, how did you find the food of the best fine dining restaurant in the shave, Mr. President? Ja, 2.
Ja.
I know exactly what you mean. Art is something else. It embodies so much about us and the world surrounding our lives. And food can...
There's an art of everything. The art of making money, food, wine, and love.
God. How are things going in the Maroon Palace? The pressure must have increased after you attended the funeral. Drei. Future is looking good.
Ja.
That's great to hear. As we conversed with Mikhail, I heard Walter raise his voice in an apparent argument with Edith and Simon. We both stopped to listen.
Acacia knows the right way of doing business. Their approach to the world is real and raw. I prefer that cutthroat approach in comparison to the nice ties.
Well...
I mean, it's a nice country to visit too. I have traveled there often in business trips. Their attitude on...
All countries are nice to visit if you have the cash. Was machen wir?
Stressiges Abendessen.
Certainly not all.
Ja. Half the globe isn't worth our time nor attention. That won't change unless profitability increases.
Walter's classic absolutes, but I do agree with you investment-wise. There are only a select group of countries that guarantee a return to on investment.
Talking of which, we are preparing our visit to Agnolia and Wellen, where we will meet the governments to settle our trade negotiations.
Make sure to lay a good foundation for negotiations to start on. I'm looking forward to those visits. It's been a long time since I left the country. Eins.
Ja. Our talented team is led by Mr. Whiskey. His wealth of knowledge and extensive connections will aid in our endeavor.
By the way, I saw that underhaul construction has already started with the railway construction. That project will surely boost our economy. The mood is already very positive. I have to congratulate Mr. Rainey for starting such a massive project. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Avon. Of course, Mr. Hall also deserves credit, of course, our great economy minister.
Is that show coming?
Why? I thought you said you were great at economy. He laughed. I've heard that you've bought a new villa, Simon.
I don't comment on rumors, but I'll make an exception since we are among friends. It's true.
You're doing a great job, so you deserve it. A new villa is a bit much, especially in this economy when people are suffering. Where's the property? Ja, eins, er macht einen guten Job, er hat sich das verdient. He is one of the hardest working ministers in the government. He has surely deserved it. I couldn't agree more.
But talking about rewards, it is a fact that the government pays far less than the private sector. That's true, but that was a change made on purpose to push for improvements from the inside.
Edith, who was sitting to my left, gently put her hand over my arm for a few seconds. Come on, let's not talk about finance or politics for now. We came here to relax. She turned to Walter and Simon. Isn't that right, gentlemen? They nodded at her and took a sip of formula drinks. She slightly leans towards me. So, Mr. Rainey, why don't you tell us what's behind that strong character of yours? I've heard that your father was a very wealthy man. Would you say that it contributed a lot to your success? Yeah, it didn't contribute much. Much success has nothing to do with that. Ja, eins.
Ja.
Unser Success hat nichts mit dem Geld zu tun.
Ja. Of course not.
Ah, der fuckt
Worked
mich so
hard
ab.
for
Ne?
it. After all, money can't buy diligence. I never met your family, Mr. President. How are they doing, if you don't mind me asking? Ach Gott, ich glaube, der, wenn er auf unsere Familie trifft, Heilige Maria.
I prefer not to talk about my family. We don't talk much since I became president. Ja, 3.
Ja. That's great to hear. Your son must be very proud of you. Family is everything. My advice would be to make sure that Frank has a solid relationship with you. He's your future, after all.
I'm trying my best to be a good father to him. He seems to be somewhat introverted. He's going through the teenager period. It's difficult to connect with him. He's a little shy. The kid can handle himself, he doesn't need anybody else. Why do you even care?
Huh.
1, 2 oder 3? Ah. Ja, 1.
Ja.
Wish that was my son's biggest problem. Darren seemed to be doing fine. I saw that his yacht party in Banffy made the local news. Well, the rascal didn't even ask for permission to use the yacht. And just took it. He basically stole it. Good news is that I finally convinced him to go to the university. He will study economics in Lashaven Business School.
That's a good choice. Having a degree in Scotland separates you from the rebel, and we especially need more people who understand economics. Maybe your son will be a great future economist.
I wouldn't count on that. But I agree that we need more economists to enter politics. Thankfully, we have a president who seems to be as well versed in economics as Alfonso. He turned to me. I'm very confident in your abilities to fix our recession. Thank you.
Ja.
I hope we can repair the damage to our economy. We can't fail like Alfonso did.
A correction. It wasn't his policies that destroyed him. It was the old guard. Ja, wenigstens eine Sache, auf die wir uns einigen, dass die einfach schlecht sind für uns.
Das ist alles nicht so gut.
I believe that too. He threatened the economic power base over the country through a vast privatization plan. They removed him and begged you after.
Walter, stop with the conspiracy theories. I think we've had enough drinks. Everyone went quiet. After a long silence, followed by some chit-chat, Walter ordered a bottle of whiskey. That's one good-looking bottle. The waiters brought one of the finest occasion whiskies. It was time for a toast. I'm not going to drink. Ja, wir toasten diesmal. I stood up to give a toast. I raise to our health and happiness, to a constructive and beneficial future, to our wealth and success, to an equal society without class difference. A morgener Viscor.
Ja.
To a constructive and beneficial future. May our differences be set aside for a good future.
This day hope dies last. To the future.
Raised.
I think it's time we call it a night.
Edith stood up. Most of us were a little tipsy at this point. I want to thank you, Mr. President, for joining us, and you, Simon, for putting all this together. Thank you all for being here. Thank you, Edith, for joining with a bunch of ugly rich men. It's getting late. Let's call it a night. Sollen wir Night 2 können wir nicht bringen.
Nee.
1.
Ja.
Thank you all for being here. It was great.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here. After bidding our farewells, we slowly walked out the restaurant. The moon was shining bright, as everyone expected. Walter left in the luxury
Sorry.
cars. Mein Gott.
President, a moment alone, please.
He called me inside the small VIP lounge. Ja, follow him.
Ja. Usually, the Lotharberg spokesman doesn't directly comment on the administration, but I'd like to say a few things since this was a special evening.
I'm all ears.
Finally, a president that listens to the people. It won't be easy to pass the new constitution through the Assembly and the Supreme Court. We could help you get it through. If you in return help us with a few economic requests.
Walter lit his cigar and took a few drags before continuing.
The consensus is that we see eye to eye in the economic direction you have taken by promoting a market economy.
I'm glad that the group is supportive. I'm interested to collaborate further in our shared interests. Good to know, but not sure how this concerns me. Ja, wäre sicher nicht schlecht, die auf unserer Seite zu haben.
Ja.
Aber was tun wir dafür?
Das ist jetzt die große Frage.
2.
Ja. Then we have the right attitude.
He looked me in the eye. Aber bloß ein 1.
You rejected our previous discreet offer to pick underhaul construction for the execution of the first mega infrastructure project. However, you still made the right choice. Haben wir die genommen?
Ja.
Oh. Your party not getting that donation is unfortunately though. Why someone wouldn't want that money is beyond me. We are aware of the upcoming tax meeting and it would be a step in the right direction if private corporations would get a tax cut. To boost the economy with job creation, of course. And the positive side effect would be our support to the administration throughout the entire term.
I will give large private corporations a tax reduction. I will make tax decisions objectively. Can't promise you anything. Wäre natürlich schon gut, wenn die dann die Wirtschaft ein bisschen ankurbeln.
Ja.
Ich würde sagen 2, wir versprechen nichts.
Ja. Oh, let's not be hasty. The recession will end if Lotterberg is on your side, President. Why can't we all just be friends?
Maybe we can. I'll see what I can do.
Yeah. Excellent. Glad to hear this. The group wants a private corporation tax cut and privatization in healthcare and education. Damn it.
I will give a private corporation tax and enable privatization in health and education. Hätte ich sowieso gemacht. Also Health und Education privatisieren.
Ja. I'm very satisfied to hear this. To us in the prosperous future of Swordland.
He smiles. It is assuring to know that we are allies.
See you, President.
Walter left, and Serge came to pick me up. I entered the car, and we drove to our residence in Lochhaven. Serge took the seaside route. Was gibt es in der nächsten Folge? Budget Allocation of the Government of Scotland. Oh Gott. Okay, lasst ein Like und ein Abo, wenn es euch gefallen hat. Schaut beim nächsten Mal vorbei und tschüss.